Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Pay attention, son. This is for your own good.
Look at me, I'm a big shot. I have a phone. I don't wake up in a dumpster every morning. I probably have a pocket to keep my phone in, too.
Hey, want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Meow.
I love Jello Pudding Pop. My son Theo loves Jello Pudding Pop.
Pleased to present for your consideration.
Well, let's start the insanity.
It's the best podcast in the world, and you can take that to the Buttcoin Bank.
Butt coins.
This is Two Broke Dads.
Do you know any more about Bitcoin this week than last week?
Nothing.
I did a little research.
Oh, did you?
I don't know anything more. The pattern holds up.
Yeah.
I know less now than before I did research. I didn't have anybody reach out to me to tell me all about Bitcoin. Maybe it's a secret society of those that are in the know.
Okay, I take back everything I just said.
Yeah.
Because I heard from someone.
Oh, yeah.
I think our number one fan, maybe Frankie Downs, reached out to me. And
He
gave
knows
me
Bitcoin?
He gave me a couple pieces of information. First, he did a podcast with someone about cryptocurrency.
Really?
And second,
Like he was the knowledgeable informant?
I think so. But
Wow.
he'll probably update me. But and if I had the name of it, share the name and I'll give it a shout out. But
Yeah.
if I had the name, I would shout it out. But also, there is a cryptocurrency called Buttcoin.
No, there's not.
He sent me a thing on it.
Really?
Yes.
There's Dogecoin. I've heard that one.
Dogecoin.
Dogecoin, Bitcoin.
We're diving right back into the
now
Buttcoin
Buttcoin.
cryptocurrency.
It's because
fungus
it's so confusing to me.
Yeah.
But anyway, we don't need to rehash that. It just is confounding.
Yes.
I did hear about a guy. I've heard the story before, but I guess he's back in the news now because he data mined
Oh.
and had a bunch of cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, on the hard drive of his computer that someone threw away.
Oh,
And
I
it's
heard
in a
about
landfill, and it's like millions of dollars.
And he lost his password, right?
Yeah, and you get like bumped out.
You get 3 chances or 5 chances or something, and once it's done.
That's too much pressure, man.
But I guess he hired or he had some people saying, "I'll give you 10% or whatever
Right.
if you can crack it."
And he didn't want to do it, or
He didn't want to do it.
well, I know that it's in a landfill. Like he's trying to get access to the landfill to get his hard drive back.
See, when you start talking about landfills again, now I'm going back to: is this a?
Yeah, do
It's
you
a real
really
coin.
mind? Anyway,
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it easier to be broke? Maybe
Yeah.
in some way.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say less stressful. It's different.
yeah.
It's different types
Well,
of
this
stress.
other podcaster I listen to, he talks about dumb people, and he says, "Aren't you secretly jealous?" And I am of myself.
Secretly jealous of yourself because you're dumb?
I was going to call other people dumb, and then I realized I shouldn't do that, so I called myself dumb in
Yeah.
the middle of the joke, and it didn't make sense.
I
at the
got
end,
you.
But yeah,
So he is secretly jealous of dumb people.
yeah, yep.
Yeah. Ignorance is bliss.
Ignorance is bliss, but it makes a good podcast because the ratings went up.
They went up this
We
week,
got
baby.
some more people listening.
Yeah.
It's growing.
Joining the family.
In fact, we're talking about we're going to be doing this. This may be a surprise episode to those that are listening.
Surprise.
Because they're used to having it on Mondays,
Right.
and this will be either Thursday or Friday.
earlier
whenever I get it up.
release.
An earlier release, but then we'll still have an episode Monday. So we're going to be doing a couple more episodes.
Does that mean
or
I
one
have to
episode a
work
week.
twice as hard?
Well,
Look at how hard I'm working right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I was telling you before the podcast, it makes me nervous every time he puts his feet up because I built this table and it's really not well built. So,
It's been working for me so far.
yep. I think about that too whenever I'm in Pennsylvania or somewhere where there's mountains and we're
Yeah.
going downhill, and I think I'm the one that did these brakes.
I changed the brakes.
Although you did it for me last time, so I could have blamed you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's concerning when you're taking a hard turn or something and you're like, oh, yeah, I did the work
Yeah.
on that side of the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not comforting.
So the weather here's today, which I know talking about the weather is kind of frowned upon, but it is crazy.
It's
here
crazy,
today.
and right now, this very moment, we are risking life and limb to be here because podcast
right.
is number one priority. Above our families are probably huddled in a basement somewhere right now, and we are here.
They were earlier
podcasting.
today.
They were. Were you? What were you doing when so we had some tornado, crazy wind, and then it was 2:00 or something.
Yeah.
They said, everyone get in the basement.
Shelter in place.
There's
My son's school sheltered in
Yep.
place.
I guess all the kids, there's a bunch of kids crying at my kid's school and
Oh,
freaking
yeah.
out because they had to go in the basement. And Joey, we went in the basement with Joey. Joey thought it was the coolest thing ever. He made a little bed in one of our closets.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Right.
And
I was driving.
Oh.
And I was coming from west, headed back east. I had material in the bed of my pickup truck, and all I was worried about was the rain.
Oh, yeah.
Right, because I knew it was supposed to start raining at 2 o'clock. So I checked the weather. My destination was arrival at 2 p.m. So I'm like, I'm just going to beat this rain. And I had stuff in my pickup truck that couldn't get wet, right, or it ruins it. So,
oh, my gosh.
So I'm looking at the weather. I look at the radar. I look at the time that the rain's supposed to start. I'm like, I'm good. I'm going to get there just in time to get this unloaded. I had a crew at the house, so they were just going to unload it as soon as I get there. I made the call, be ready as soon as I pull in. And as soon as I looked at the radar and thought, I'm good, it started raining.
Oh, man.
And then it started pounding rain.
Yeah.
I don't know if you got that kind of rain here, but I drove through like a monsoon. I was on the interstate. I slowed down to 15 miles an hour because I couldn't see.
Yeah.
Had the four-way flashers on. And then when the crazy rain stopped and you could see ahead of you, there were tractor trailers turned over in the median. They got blown off the highway.
That's crazy.
Into the median.
Yeah, I mean, it hit, and it was only like a 15-minute storm.
Right.
But, I mean, I drove to get the kids like 45 minutes after it, and there was, trampolines flipped over, and it was pretty hairy out there.
Well, the first warning I got on my phone was it said like major dust storm. I don't know if it's still on there, but I got the dust storm warning, and I'm like, oh, that's unique. I've never been in a dust storm before. Yeah. Oh, no, that was the tornado one that's on there. So I get the dust storm warning, and it says, visibility will be 0. Pull all the way off the road as far as you can. Put your vehicle in park. It gives you all this advice. And then as soon as I finish reading the dust storm warning, the tornado warning, and it says shelter in place now, your location, imminent threat. I'm like, I'm driving. And it's the Midwest. There's nothing around. There's no place to shelter in place. And then I thought, well, I see a house every once in a while.
Yeah.
If I see a tornado, I'm pulling in somebody's driveway, banging on the door, and if they're not there, I'm kicking the door in and I'm going in their basement.
You go lie in a shallow ditch.
Yeah, I guess they say that. That doesn't feel like extra safe to me.
Seems like the dumbest thing that you could do in that moment, but hey.
Go find an open field.
Dusty Slay, there's a comedian, Dusty Slay. I'm not going to tell his bit, but go look at his bit. It's on YouTube about tornadoes and lying in a ditch when you're in a trailer park, and it's pretty good. He's a good comedian.
But it was crazy. And then, because it was dust storm warning first, after the crazy rain stopped and it was just a light rain, it was like raining dirt.
Yeah, it was. My car was all musty looking.
Yeah, my windshield just kept getting dirty as nobody around. It's not like it was getting kicked up by anybody else. It was just raining dirt.
It was weird. I did record just about 12 seconds of it because it was a little eerie sounding outside too. I mean, you got the sirens. If you're not from the Midwest, and this was new to me when I moved to Kansas about 10 years ago or so, when you hear the sirens, it's like, first of all, you're like, what the heck is that? But then you get used to it, and then every once a month now they'll test them.
Yeah, they test
so you get kind of used to it. But here's a little bit of what it sounded like when it kicked on.
That's outside your house?
A little creepy.
Yeah. It's like movie scene kind
like,
of soundtrack.
Well,
right?
I was out there. I was like, this feels like the movie Signs or something.
Right.
Like just that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was.
It was nuts. It was a nutty drive.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the first time I heard the sirens. We were visiting Kansas City, and we went to the movies together. It was like a big family thing we were all doing in Kansas City. And we went to see a movie, and
invite must have got lost in the mail.
Oh, you were there.
Oh, okay.
and the sirens went off, and you could hear it like over the soundtrack of the movie, and then the movie stops, and one of the ushers comes to the front of the movie theater.
You're like, this soundtrack is dope.
And he says, we have imminent threat, tornado warning. It's been spotted, 5 miles away. Anybody that wants to shelter, we do have a basement here just for this occurrence. Mm-hmm. And so you can get up now and head down to the basement. And so I'm like standing up, right? Because I'm East Coast. I don't know about tornadoes.
You think it's coming through.
Yeah. I'm like, all right, let's hit it. And I'm expecting however many 100 people are in this movie theater to get up, and nobody moves. I'm the only one getting ready to stand up. And I'm looking around, and I'm like, is this a prank? Like, is this guy, they know this guy's joking and everybody else is in on it? No, they just don't care.
We get used to it.
Yeah.
If I didn't have a family.
They're like, tornadoes, it's 5 miles away. Yeah. We're good.
If I didn't have a family, that's how I'd be.
That's crazy.
I would go out and I watch it. We've had them before where everyone's in the basement and I'm going upstairs just to keep an eye on it and watch this guy, especially at our old house. But There was many nights. We got a lot more when we lived in Kansas than we do here.
Yeah.
There was many nights. Daisy, who's here for our recording, remembers us sleeping under the stairs. Like we had we had some mattresses and stuff set up under our basement stairs.
You just kept them there because
we just kept them there because we would springtime we would get warnings in the middle of the night and we'd have to just go down. Wouldn't have time to prepare, so we would.
It was like oddly warm this morning, and then it got up to like 70.
Yep.
And that was 3 hours ago. It was 70, and now it's like 38.
I could have told you 2 days ago, looking at the weather, we were going to have some tornado warning, especially since it happened last week in Kentucky and all that. We were ripe for something weird.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was an intense drive. I don't want to do that again.
No. Well, it was about, it was probably 8 years ago. It was when I was living in Kansas and my dad was living here in Grand Island, and all the wives and kids and everyone were away. So we're like, let's have a dude weekend. Yeah. So I drove up here. I had my boxy Element car.
Yeah.
And I hit some tornadic activity. Is that a word? Tornadic?
Tornadic, I think.
Tornadic. And it hit not quite to Lincoln. There's like that Walmart before you hit Lincoln and all that. Anyway, I couldn't see much in front of me, and it was that you get the warning on your phone. Right. You need to find a shelter. And so I pulled up next to this gas station. Luckily, there was a gas station there because I hadn't seen anything for miles and miles. I pull up, and I'm just stopped at this red light, and the wind hits so hard that I feel the car lift.
Oh, jeez.
And I think I might have been on the phone with my dad, or I called him. I ran that red light, pulled into the gas station, ran into the bathroom. They had a tornado shelter, and when I went in, there was like 15 other people in there huddled with me. And
in the bathroom?
In the bathroom at the gas station.
Wow. Is that your worst drive ever?
Probably, because then after that, I thought I was in the clear, and I wanted to get where I was going. It was already late, and I between Lincoln and Grand Island, it's about an hour and a half, and it was I could barely see in front of me until I probably hit like York. Nebraska, and then it was fine. But, it was a pretty hairy ride.
If I had an exit today on the highway, I would have just pulled off, but I was on a spot where you had to keep going, and it was nuts. We down to 15 miles an hour on an interstate that's 75 mile an hour speed limit. It's crazy. I think my worst drive ever was my first car was a 83 Camaro Z28. It was a kind of a beater, but I loved it. It was fast.
I think I remember that car.
Yeah. Yeah, I drove that car to your place. And it was I was actually leaving your house, driving back to Baltimore County, so from the Eastern Shore to Baltimore County, and it started snowing. And that's a rear-wheel drive car, and it's real light in the rear end.
Yeah.
And every time you touch the brakes when it's snowing, like the back end would just, like the tires want to keep going. Those rear-wheel drive cars want to keep pushing. And I would just go sideways, and if it was a little bit of an incline because it just started a light snow, it wouldn't really catch and grip. And so I'm like, all right, I'm halfway there. I'm going to be all right. I'll just keep going easy. It'll be fine. And I take the wrong exit for 695, which goes around Baltimore.
Oh.
And instead of going the way I'm supposed to go, I'm going. And you can still get there, but it's the long way to get there. So I go the east side of Baltimore, and I'm going all the way around. And I realize that after I'm on it. 10 minutes, I'm like, oh, crap, I took the wrong turn. But I got to keep going now, right? It was terribly stressful. It was like 3 hours of driving in the snow like that. It was no good.
Yeah, my Ford Thunderbird was a lot like that, my first car.
Oh, yeah. I drove your Ford Thunderbird in the snow.
I loved that car. I would take that car. Yeah, you could do some
it was a couch.
Crazy. Oh, my gosh, so comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what was more comfortable, that or my 94 Lincoln.
Oh, that Lincoln was.
Continental.
That thing kind of just bounced down the road, too, right?
That thing was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't get a lot better than that. I did notice, so the weather cleared out, and it's been windy, but pretty nice the rest of it. And you can look at the radar, there's not anything else coming. They closed everything down in this town, and they do that. I don't know if you've noticed that, but YMCA will shut everything down for the night. All the churches they'll shut everything down just because we had something at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Well, yeah, they canceled all the after-school activities. Yeah. Practice was canceled for my son. Yeah, all that was shut down.
I don't understand.
But I think it's because that tornado warning goes till 8 or 9 o'clock tonight. So
you can look at the radar.
I don't know if you can predict the tornado on the radar.
I can predict it.
Oh, Josh says we're good. You see the tree was down on the corner?
No.
When you came in? Oh, yeah. I had to wait for a front end loader. He's pushing this giant tree out of the road.
Oh, really?
It blew down. Yeah, right here. at the intersection.
But they do that like with snow or anything. Even if they think it's going to snow in here, they just shut it
They're
down.
terrible with snow around here.
Dude, they don't salt anything.
They don't do anything. They
don't
don't
do anything.
plow till it's done snowing.
No.
Like, you can't go around this town.
It's weird.
Yeah,
It's a
they're
Midwest
real
town.
bad.
They get
Real
a lot
bad
of
with snow.
Yeah.
I didn't have to buy snow tires. I moved from upstate New York, and I did not have snow tires there because they were great with the roads.
Yeah.
Here, the first snowstorm, I went out in our car, which
Yeah.
is the car Zeke drives now, and I was all over the place.
Yep.
Like, I pulled right up to the tire place and said, "Put snow tires on this car."
Maryland was pretty good. Like growing up, they would salt it pretty good, but yeah,
They don't do anything here.
They don't do anything.
It's crazy.
It's weird.
It's real bad.
And they have like salt flats around here, and I guess like that's why they call it Grand Island. I've heard is because they dig up for salt or something, and it fills with water, and so it gets this island effect. But
Yeah.
you think we'd have salt to salt the dang roads?
No,
Just
they
saying.
don't. Or even sand or something. Do something.
Yeah.
Don't just let us drive through a foot of snow.
It made me think of people everywhere we've lived. So I've lived in Maryland, New York, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Kansas, Nebraska.
You don't stay any one place very long.
I don't stay. The longest was Kansas City, which we grew to love. We were there about 8 or 9 years, almost a decade.
How long you been here?
4 years this week.
This week?
Or
It's
maybe
your,
end of
it's your
last week.
anniversary.
It's my, yeah.
So, are you thinking about moving now?
Yeah, it's,
It's like you've been
time's
here
up.
almost too long.
I think I'm stuck here now because of the podcast. So
That's right.
if I move, we can do this remotely, but
It's not the same.
it's not the same. But I've noticed that everywhere I go, people always say, "Oh, if you don't like the weather here, wait 5 minutes." But it's like only in Nebraska, only in Tennessee. But you all
It's
say the
everywhere.
same thing every state.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania says the same thing about Pennsylvania.
Just wait 10 minutes.
Just wait 10 minutes,
Yeah.
or only in Nebraska do you? Well, it's
Right.
like no, it's everywhere.
I mean, this is the only
Whole
place
country.
I've lived where there's been tornado warnings.
Not me.
You
We had them in.
KC.
I mean, we would have them in Maryland sometimes,
Yeah, but not like
coming off the water.
Like, they're not testing the sirens once a month.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, it's pretty intense here.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess there are some things, but most things that people say that about, it's like
Yeah.
the weather changes here. Like we had a 70-degree day today. Tomorrow it's going to be 40. It happens everywhere.
Yeah.
Happens everywhere.
Yeah. Well, how about plans that go sideways? Because I had that today, too.
Plan to go, what?
Plans that go sideways.
Oh.
You map out your whole day,
Yeah.
and the whole day doesn't go anyway.
It's called my life.
Is that your life is your plan that went sideways? Or it's just consecutive plans going sideways?
It's everything.
Is it?
This got real depressing real fast.
Sorry. Well, let's talk about what's on the table then. What do you got here? What do you got for us on the table?
We can talk about plans going sideways. What went sideways today?
Everything.
Oh, really? It's
Yeah,
one of those
I had
days?
my whole day mapped out. I knew the rain was starting at 2, so it just
Yeah.
was like, I'm going to make this happen before 2, and then I'll be fine. And no, it's just, yeah, it was a sideways day, which means tomorrow is just making up for all the stuff that I didn't get to do today.
Your day was.
It was that
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
That sound encompasses a lot of emotion
Does.
for a game show sound.
Yeah, it's
You
a
hear
pretty
that,
good
it's just
one.
like,
Yep.
I know what they're feeling.
Yeah. You got the horns, you're thinking it's going to be all right, and then it lets you down.
Yeah, let you
But
down.
kind of gently.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, but did we come up? Did we think about a food rating system?
So
How about we
I
just do 1 to 10?
1 to 10.
We could
Does
do-
it have to be specific to Two Broke Dads?
If it's good enough for the Barstool Sports Pizza ratings, it's probably good enough for us.
Is that what they do?
Well,
1 to
they do
10?
that, but here's the thing: if you don't have a decimal, then you're a novice. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Hey, you're not a.
You're a rookie.
You're a rookie.
So it's got to be, like, can you say 5.0, or it's got to be like a 0.1, 2?
Yeah, it's a little bit of rookie score, but
Is it?
you could do it if it happens.
I'm going to ease into it. I am a rookie on rating food because my previous ratings before 1 to 10 were good and bad.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, we're
so
gonna.
we're really expanding.
We'll do 1 to 10. Does
Yeah,
that
let's
sound
go
good?
1 to
Let's
10.
go 1 to 10. So I don't know if you like peppermint, but I saw this and I wanted one for myself, and I thought, you know what, we should try it on the podcast.
So I've never had one of these because I'm generally anti-Starbucks.
Oh, really?
Only because it seems more challenging to order. This is a prepackaged drink, but going to Starbucks seems like
I like their mocha drinks.
It's a whole event that I'm just not into.
I will normally grab one. It's not a very broke dad thing to do because they're not super cheap, but I will normally grab one. if I'm in the grocery.
You know, if I had time tonight, I was planning on getting the Elvis burger and bringing it in. But I didn't.
Maybe for our Christmas episode, we can figure that out.
Christmas with Elvis.
Next week, we'll be recording a Christmas episode, and we can...
All right, so we are going with the iced espresso peppermint mocha.
Peppermint mocha.
Rich and minty.
I've never seen one, so I thought I might as well try it. I want one, so...
Do you like peppermint drinks normally?
I can take them or leave them.
Yeah?
I like the mocha drink, though.
All right, let's go. That's not bad.
It's not bad, but there's not a punch of flavor.
No.
I'm going to give it a 4.3.
I will put the pressure on me with the point, whatever. All right, let me take one more sip.
One sip, everybody knows the rules.
Is there a drink that's a 10 for you? Because that's what I'm trying to think. Like, what's a 10?
Okay. Honestly,
yeah,
McDonald's mocha is probably
like
close
the
to a
mocha
10.
Frap, the frozen one?
There's no such thing as a 10, but it's probably a 9.3 for me. I like the frozen, but I really just like the regular just mocha.
Okay.
Pretty dang good.
Yeah, I mean, this compared to that.
And at McDonald's, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm a broke dad.
Yeah.
I like McDonald's.
Well, we don't frequent like coffee houses and stuff. So.
It's true.
I'd give it like a 4.1.
What did I give it? 4.3. You're just copying myself.
No, I didn't know what your score was. Was yours a 4?
4.3.
Okay, I'll go lower.
Yeah, I'll
go 3.4.
Okay, it's pretty good. I mean, it's
all right.
It's all right. It's okay. It's pretty bland to me.
I wouldn't go for it.
I wouldn't go
after
for
tasting it. I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, I need.
I'll drink the rest. I'll be happy with it, but I won't. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not something I'll see on the shelf and go, I need that.
I had a minor celebrity run in this week at a coffee house. It jogged my memory. I wasn't planning on talking about it. Oh, that's right.
The minor celebrity.
Minor celebrity. So
sibling celebrity run in. Is that how that works?
Yeah, I think so. So
okay.
Jimmy Kimmel's sister, who I struggle because he's his politics, and I don't care if you're left or right, but he just shoves it in your face. He's all politics now, which he didn't used to be. Yeah. And I don't mind if you dabble. Like I like SNL still, and they're far left. I don't care if you're far right. I like Gutfeld sometimes. He's far right. Like I don't care where you're at. I agree with one more than the other, obviously, but when it becomes not funny at a point.
You're there for entertainment,
yeah,
and you're just getting.
But Jimmy Kimmel used to be my dude, and so his sister, who I follow on Instagram, was coming into town to play at a coffee house, basically do comedy. Jill Kimmel.
James and Jill.
James and Jill. Their other brother's named John.
All right.
Parents are also J names as well.
Really?
Yeah. So anyway, I just said, hey, I'm a broke dad. Can't afford the show because it was a little pricey for a coffee house.
Right.
But have fun in our town. She said, come. She replied and said, come be my guest.
Look at that.
So we went. It was a snowy night. It was a slippery night. But we went there, and then afterwards, I kind of made a friend. So now I have a minor celebrity friend.
And she's going to be a guest on the podcast when?
Well, now that I just trashed her brother, I still, I don't know.
I don't know you trashing. You just said you don't like his politics.
It's just, and it's not even that I don't like his politics. I don't, but it's just too much. It's too much all the time.
Right. Like, it's not entertaining.
Yeah. At some point, stop talking about Trump because he's been gone for a year now.
Are they still talking about Trump?
Oh, every day.
Really?
And it's not just him. It's all late night guys. So it's obviously something.
Is Trump still active? I don't know.
He's not on social media. I mean, I guess he.
Well, he got booted off of social media, didn't he?
Yeah, like a year before.
Right.
Yeah. So he's not really in headlines to me.
Right.
I don't know what he's doing right now.
But maybe it's because Joe. We said last week, Joe's approval. It's not great right now.
So you think they're deflecting?
Maybe if you can't talk the good about Joe, you got to talk bad about the last guy.
Yeah. Or maybe they're just afraid he's going to make a comeback, so they need to keep him.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, but it's just too much, and I just don't care about it anymore. Like, just write some funny jokes. You can write jokes about Republicans. I don't give a crap.
So if you ever, I don't imagine that you have the interest to do this, but if you were interested in it, and perhaps you had the right relationships in the background and the clout, would you ever want to be president?
Half the country would hate you. I
don't want it.
Yeah.
I don't want it.
I would do it.
Yeah, I don't want it.
I would do it just for fun. Just because
it's for fun.
Well, there's so many things that I'm like,
that'll be your platform. I'm just here for the good times.
Like, I'll watch debates. That's one of the things that I did, and this is not going to be a Trump thing.
Yeah.
One of the things that I did like about Trump, and it's a thing that a lot of people hated about Trump, was like when you first started watching the debates, he did it different. And he would make me laugh. And sometimes maybe you disagree and you say, well, you shouldn't be laughing at a presidential debate. It should be it's very serious, and it's a serious thing. But I like that he did it different, and I feel like I could bring that to the table as well. I would do it different, and
yeah. I just wouldn't want all the pressure.
And then you got Biden calling people a dog-faced pony soldier, so maybe he's bringing it too. I don't know.
He's doing it different.
Maybe
too.
he's doing it different.
It worked for him, right? He did it, and now he's president. He tried to be president before, but not until he called somebody a dog-faced pony soldier did he actually win the election.
That one did make me laugh. I don't know where it came from. I don't know if it's a real thing, but calling someone a dog-faced pony soldier did make me laugh.
Yeah, I'd never heard that before. I wonder if it's something that he's used prior to that time, or did he just make it up on the spot? It's got to
be something from the 50s that just like bolted in his memory or something. But he did break his rule.
Joe broke his own rule?
Yeah, calling someone a dog-faced pony soldier seems an awful lot like malarkey. And his campaign was no malarkey.
No malarkey.
No malarkey.
I don't know. I wouldn't want any of that. I'd like to be like the unknown guy.
I would like to do it for comedic purposes only.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think it'd be funny.
I think, Trump said a lot of stupid and crazy stuff, but first, I love nicknames.
Oh my gosh.
Right? I love giving people nicknames.
He was the best.
And his were like the mean nicknames, but they were good, right? So I appreciated that about him.
Listen, he's a bully. He's a bully.
He is a bully.
But boy, you'd remember those nicknames. Can't think of one right now, but I've kind of defeated my point. But there is a guy. So the guy who created the Dilbert cartoon, Scott. I think it's Scott Adams, maybe. Scott Dilbert.
Yeah.
I heard him being interviewed, and this is like during right when Trump was coming on the scene. And I didn't think we'd be talking about Trump tonight, but right when he's coming on the scene, and someone mentioned how it's stupid that he gives people nicknames, and I guess this guy has studied like how people come into power, and also how to like psychological things.
Yeah.
And he said he's doing that to get. He said it's actually brilliant what he's doing, and when you think of Hillary, you're going to think crooked Hillary,
right? Yeah,
makes sense.
True, yeah.
And so he's not just doing it willy-nilly. He's got a team that's thinking up these. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he was right, but it worked for him for that. Sleepy Joe.
He wasn't wrong about that, right?
He's drowsy. Hey, even if you're on the left, you got to admit he's a little sleepy.
He's a little sleepy, right? We saw it at the climate conference.
And you got to admit, Crooked's a little Hillary, or Hillary's a little crooked.
There's no two ways about that.
There's no two ways about that.
I mean, they're all a little bit crooked.
The funniest meme I've ever seen. I posted one actually this week that was pretty funny. It was no, I can't remember. I'll have to look it up.
This is tasting worse.
Yeah.
as I take sips off the peppermint mocha.
But I saw one. It was a picture of a dead deer on the side of the road, just a random dead deer.
Yeah.
And it said, "What did this deer know about Hillary?"
Funny and scary. Right? I don't know if I could tell the story, I guess, because I don't know the guy's name, but I met a guy who was like on the protective detail for Bill and Hillary when he was governor of Arkansas. And I was like, hey man, they got like that body count about the Clintons and like the crazy deaths, and because Josh is sniped by the window. And it was at that point it was like 40 some people, like mysterious deaths and disappearances and stuff. I'm like,
not everyone can shoot themselves in the head twice. I don't know.
It's a talented individual.
Welcome to the QAnon hour.
Yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, I was like, he was on the state police protective detail or whatever, and I won't say where we were because he was freaked out, legitimately freaked out. As I started talking about it, I said, "Is there any truth to it?" And we were like, not in a well-populated area. We weren't surrounded by. It wasn't the city. There wasn't people around that were really listening to us.
Yeah.
But he paused when I asked that question, and he looked around, looked over his shoulder, looked around the other way, looked over his shoulder. He said, "Yes, there's truth to it, and I won't say anything else." And that was the end of our conversation, and we never talked again.
And then you just blew his cover right now.
Well, I don't know his name, so
he whispered in. He said,
"How about you, Christoph? When did your juices start flowing?"
And that's how I knew it was serious.
I'm never going to get rid of that drop. That drop is staying.
Yeah, so anyway, we got kind of political, and I didn't mean to.
I don't even remember how it started.
But I think there's humor in all of the politics, and I do think that
both sides.
Most of them are crooked. and the higher up you get, the more crooked you have to be to get there.
I don't like right wing politicians. I don't like left wing politicians. There's a couple that stand out that I'm like, okay.
Well, there's a new party starting.
Oh, that's right.
Andrew Yang, the Forward Party.
Yeah, which I don't agree with a lot of his stuff, but he intrigues me at least. Like, I think some of his stuff is a little far-fetched.
Well, his like presidential platform was math.
Yeah, which I kind of like
in
actually.
The Democratic primary.
But his whole and it does make sense, but it doesn't make sense. The whole everyone should be getting paid like $1,000 a month, and how are you getting that money? Well, big businesses are using your data, so you should be getting paid. This whole thing.
I would love to get a paycheck from Facebook.
It's far-fetched, though.
Yeah.
It's never going to happen.
No.
Businesses aren't going to pay you.
But if Facebook or YouTube or...
But I do like him. I like when I'll listen to him if he's on a podcast, and I'll listen to him
because they're using your data. Yeah. Your phone tells you what you just talked about when it slides you some advertisements.
Happens every week. Every week I almost post a picture of. I was talking about this. We were talking about freaking stretchy jeans the other night. We watched a movie with my whole family.
Do you wear stretchy jeans?
I don't, but they were talking about how comfortable they are now. Next day. Ad for men's stretchy jeans.
Oh, I have jeans. I don't think these ones do.
I have a pair that are stretchy.
They have a little stretch. I thought you were talking about like spandex.
I got that too. That'll be on the After Hours podcast.
Oh yeah, the Late Show.
The late
with Josh and his spandex. Yeah, man. What else you got?
Well, I got another snack here if we want to try it.
I'm all about snacks. Let's get the flavor of this nasty peppermint mocha out of my face.
I got snacks, and then I do have. I can't open it.
You should have pre-opened.
By the way, this is Red Vines.
I've never had a Red Vine.
And they're my favorite.
And I'm pretty excited. I have a knife. You need a knife? Oh, no. You got
These are my favorite. I think I like them better than Twix. And they're also a better straw than Twix.
Twizzler.
I'm all over the place.
I do love a Twix, though.
I do love a Twix.
So the Red Vine is more round than the flatness of the
Yep.
Twizzler.
They're a little more old-fashioned.
Okay. Old-fashioned confectionery.
Yeah, they look a little different.
I'm doing it.
All right.
That's pretty good. Good initial flavor. Lots of chewiness. Mm-hmm. You ever wonder what it's made out of?
Oh, yeah.
Red Vines, Twizzlers.
This has plastic in it for sure.
It's got to be.
A thin plastic. Yeah, I like it better. It's not as...
it's definitely a straw, though. Look at that.
It's not as candy flavored as a Twizzler, but I like them.
That's my very first Red Vine. Audience, you were here with me. They're sharing it, and it's pretty good. Made in California.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll let you score it first, since I scored the last one first.
All right. I will say that I think on my second bite.
2 bites, everybody knows the rules.
I think I prefer the Twizzler to the Red Vine.
Shh. Get out of here.
I'd give a Twizzler.
Canceling this podcast.
I'd give a Twizzler a 6.
Okay.
And I'd give a Red Vine. I'm sorry. I'd give a Twizzler a 6.1.
Okay.
And I'd give a Red Vine.
Not a rookie score?
I'd give a Red Vine a 4.9.
Man. I'm going to give this a 7.8. Love it.
Really?
It's one of my favorite snacks I get, and they sell them big jugs of them.
Yeah.
And I like them because my kids don't really like them as much.
Oh, you don't care for the Red Vine?
So I get the whole jug to myself.
Do you like Twizzlers?
Yeah, they like Twizzlers. And I like Twizzlers, too. These... I don't know, there's something about them.
I will say that anything that's of this substance, like whatever this chewy beeswax, sorghum, whatever this is made out of, like gummy bears, Twizzlers, Red Vines, I will eat a bunch of them because I like the flavor, and then my stomach. I'm just jammed up, man. That's
when you're on a road trip or something.
Yep.
Well, I realized this past road trip, we may have already talked about this, but I was going to hold off on the sodas because I'd be sick for like a day after getting, if it was a long trip.
Drinking too much soda?
Drinking too much soda, drinking too much, or eating too much snacks. And for like a day, it would take my stomach a while to settle.
Yeah.
So I thought this time I'm going to keep it a little more healthy. I had some pumpkin seeds.
Yeah.
And some
you do your own pumpkin seeds, don't you? Bake your own?
Sometimes. About every other year. It's a pretty labor-intensive process for not a whole lot of reward.
Right.
So, yeah.
So what did you drink then on your road trip?
I had like the bottles of water that have flavoring. You
gotta have flavored water.
Yeah, flavored water. I can't just drink water. My wife can. Yeah, she loves just plain water. But
I like plain water when I'm like parched, dying of thirst. But I drink that while I'm getting a real drink.
When I'm parched, you know what I want? Big old glass of root beer. Two fat dads.
Root beer and red vines.
I think, we had the game, the Effeminate Southerner.
Yes.
We had that game.
Effeminate Southern Gentleman. You're very good at that voice.
Oh, well, I'm okay, but I haven't.
It almost sounds like you're a natural.
I haven't. Like maybe this is my fake voice.
Right.
And this is my real one.
Did somebody complain?
No.
Oh.
But I have a new kind of game.
Do you have another voice for us?
I have another voice.
Yes.
But this might be really worse than the first one. It might not be funny at all, and I might be really embarrassed when this releases. I might even cut it out.
Will it be offensive?
No, it's not offensive at all.
Oh,
not offensive at all.
Because I like when we're two offensive broke dads.
Here's what it is, and you have a part to play in this as well. You're interviewing me. Okay.
Do I have interview questions, or I got to make it up as
anything.
I go?
It could be anything.
All right.
You're good on your feet. You're interviewing me. Let me burp first. But I am Sylvester Stallone.
You can do a Sly Stallone?
Here's the catch.
Yeah.
I've just returned from a dentist appointment.
You're Sly Stallone with a numb mouth.
And I'm numb.
Oh, this is terrible after a red
It's not
vine.
great.
Peppermint mocha after a red vine is like brushing your teeth and drinking orange juice.
So
It's
you're going to
bad.
interview Sly Stallone, who has just returned, and we'll call it Dentistry Impressions. It's a very specific kind. So you can ask me a question. Well, I'll give you an answer.
Yeah.
And then you ask another question. We'll see how long this goes.
Well, Sly, welcome to the studio.
It might be the dumbest thing ever, by the way.
Welcome to the studio, Sylvester. It's good to have you here.
I
just coughed up red vine. So I heard you're working on a new project. You want to tell us about it? I got to know where you developed this voice. Okay. Yeah, so both of those answers sounded the same. When's your next movie release? Well, that's great, Sylvester. I appreciate you sharing that with us. We'll have somebody interpret it so the rest of the audience can understand. So you're getting up there in age now, Sylvester. In your 70s, right? In your 70s? But you're still pretty fit. And so I'm just wondering, like, what's your workout regimen like? I think we got all we needed to from you this time around, Sylvester. Thanks for being here. And we'll catch up with you later.
That was.
I'm wondering, when I first heard those noises coming out of your face, I'm wondering where this idea developed. Like, where did you first make that noise and you're like, oh, that sounds like Sly coming out of the dentist?
I'll give you the whole breakdown.
Yeah.
There's another comedian.
So dumb.
There's another comedian that does a Sly impression named Kyle Dunnigan.
Oh, yeah, I've heard him do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was trying to, because a lot of times you'll hear an impression and I'll be driving. A lot of times I'm driving, and if you see me talking to myself in the car, I'm trying to figure out an impression.
So you were doing an impression of an impression.
Trying to.
Yeah.
Well, not consciously, but I was just trying to figure out the Sylvester. Yeah.
Right.
But I had heard him do it. I was probably listening to a podcast with him on it or something. Yeah. And I realized I can't really do it, but I can just make noises, and it kind of sounds like it. It's still not a good impression. But I realized
there is entertainment value to it.
I thought, when would that happen? Oh, coming back from the dentist.
Was anybody with you while you were working on it, or were you by yourself?
Well, I've only done it by myself. Last night I did try it out.
Yeah.
With my wife interviewing me, and she can't do that kind of thing, so it was a little labored. But she laughed, so I was like, all right, we'll try it on the podcast.
We'll try it.
So I don't know how to do any others. Maybe there's some others I can think of.
Yeah, we should work on some more, because you're really good. You're really good at doing an impression of an impression where the guy has some form of temporary disability. That's your wheelhouse.
It's my wheelhouse. No one does it better.
It's kind of specific, but that's what you do.
Well, I guess it's probably about time to wrap up this episode, right?
Yeah, this is a special release.
Well, no.
And
yeah, I mean, and we'll try. I think we're planning on trying out 2 per week. Correct?
2 per week.
We're gonna try it out for a while. So hope you
Twice
enjoy
the
this
work.
one. We'll be back on Monday.
Twice the snacks.
In the meantime,
keep it
gooch gooch
on the gooch gooch, baby.
Hey.